Another observation is that there is only one reason why an economic system exists, and that is to satisfy human needs. Seen as an entire group, the billions of people who put their labor into the economy are also the consumers of goods and services offered by the economy. What happens in between, what we normally call economy or marketplace, the place where we find businesses and corporations, is nothing but an arena for exchange of goods and services, where businesses and corporations show up due to the division of labor. No business is ever started with the purpose of selling goods or services to itself. Depending on their activities, a business may sell goods and services directly to individual consumers or to other corporations. When the buyer is a corporation, it does not consume goods and services as an end user. A company purchases goods and services because these are needed in the process to provide its own products and services to its customers. In fact, if we take any business and follow the sales chain, we never stop with another business. We always find a human need at the end. For instance, a company selling office supplies, papers, binders, staplers, will sell these to other companies, but a company buying those office supplies does not need them for itself. It uses them to sell its own goods and services. If the buyer of office supplies is a grocery store, it uses them to support its own activity, which is selling groceries, satisfying people's need for food. If the buyer of office supply is a building company, it uses them to support their own activity, which is building. It may be homes, satisfying people's need for shelter. It may be a clinic, satisfying people's need for health care. It may be a cinema theater, satisfying people's need for leisure and entertainment. Or maybe a gym, satisfying people's need for wellness. If the buyer of office supply is an automotive repair shop, it uses them to support its own activity, which is to fix cars, satisfying people's need for reliable transportation. In all these examples, the consumers don't care about the office supplies used by the businesses they interact with. When they interact with them, they are focusing on their own need: the food, the house they are going to live in, the quality of the medical services at the clinic, the movie experience, the gym, or the trustworthiness of the mechanic. The theories about human needs are pretty complex, so in order to keep things simple, we will divide them into two layers. The first layer consists of needs that are essential for physical existence and survival. For instance, shelter, food, hygiene, clothing, health, safety and stability, rest or sleep. For simplicity, we can call them basic needs. There are other needs beyond the survival level that all humans have, needs that are not necessary for the physical existence of the individual. We can call these psychological and self-fulfillment needs. And in this category, we can include connection, that means family, community, social groups, something that gives us a sense of belonging. Autonomy, this is about freedom of choice and independence. Significance, this is about the need to be important, to know that we mean something to people around us. Recognition, to be acknowledged for the things we do. Growth, to always expand our boundaries. Contribution and purpose, to have the feeling that we are making others' lives better. In a normal functioning society, the basic needs are not difficult to meet. Working an average job will provide enough to live in a small apartment and buy basic groceries, and your physical well-being is ensured because you have basic shelter and food supply. The other needs, the non-existential needs, are reflected by the choices we make to meet the basic needs. That's called lifestyle. While a small apartment may still provide shelter and protection, we buy a larger house because we want comfort and privacy. Hopefully, it is in the right neighborhood because this gives us recognition. The same applies to buying food, when we choose the exclusive grocery store instead of shopping at a big box discount store. Dining out is not about getting food, it is all about socializing. Then it becomes a question of where do we go out. A regular diner will do it, but a high-end restaurant gives both socializing and recognition. Grabbing a morning latte at Starbucks is not about coffee. It is about being seen with the right cup in your hand when you get to the office. The multi-billion haute couture fashion industry is not about clothes. it's about belonging to an exclusive club. In this video, I am not presenting any argument over right or wrong choices when it comes to our consumer habits. The point I'm making is following. The real and the only driver of the economy is the aggregate volume of the needs, both existential and non-existential, of individual consumers. The office supply company has its very important role, but it is the individual consumers and their needs that make this role possible. If the consumers move out of town, do not buy a new house, don't change their healthcare plans, if they don't go to the cinema but watch a movie at home, if they don't go to the gym but take a walk in the park, or if they don't even have a car, none of the companies that provide those services have a reason to exist. In other words, an office supply company will provide office supplies to a grocery store, a builder, a theater, a clinic, a gym, or a car repair shop only when some people will buy goods and services from them. All the so-called B2Bs, companies selling goods and services to other businesses, exist only because somewhere down the chain there is a group of individuals willing to pay a price to have their needs met. The conclusion to be drawn from here is that only individual needs of the people of a nation will make the economy move.